Hello all, Sique here, and welcome back on the path to Unpunishable. Today we are discussing card 10, The Quiet. And this was a really hard thing to conceptualize, because if you don't know what to look for, you'll miss it absolutely. Because there's a moment, a narrow bridge, where you move from I'm going to do it to actually doing it, right? But first you have to slog through the emotional muck first. The overlapping thoughts that crash into one another. Oh my God, I really did it. Oh my God, what have I done? Oh no, no, I deserve this piece. I did not think I was gonna lose that. Why did I lose that? I have not slept this well in years. Is everything really going to be okay? I think everything is going to be okay, right? And they come in order, they come out of order, they come one at a time, they come in a big jumbo ball like a katamari. But it all happens. And then comes a surge right after that. Like every negative thing you have ever said rises to the surface, right? Everything you imagine people saying about you, not what they actually said, what you think they're going to say, or what would they say, all that starts piling on top of you. And your mind tries to recreate the chaos it knows how to survive, right? And then it stops. Just one day, you go to open a document to write, and you realize not only are you writing words, but you're focused on the words on the screen, right? And the fact that you just opened it up and started in after a few good breaths kind of startles you, like, what? I'm actually doing this shit. Wait a minute. Or you begin a new project, and that familiar twinge of, this is a bad idea, or you're not going to do it, or why am I wasting my time? It just doesn't come. And you wait for another shoe to drop and realize something that is quiet, still, gentle, and absolutely devastating. You waiting for that shoe to drop? Spend most of your life barefoot. It ain't coming. That stillness where chaos used to live, that moment when you realize that you're actively doing it, you don't have to kind of side eye or sneak up on that calm and that peace, but you're actually doing it and your nervous system is chill with it. That's the quiet. And the reason why this card matters is because we're trained to fear the quiet. We are afraid to be still. We're in tuned to distraction, right? And the quiet is a space without distraction, where both truth and lies lose their echo, both of them. This is where the things we avoid kind of get into sharp focus. All the emotions we put off until later, the needs that we silence, the things we were taught to be ashamed of, and the stuff we actually are ashamed of. Very few of us were taught how to sit with ourselves. They sell whole vacations based on sitting someplace in quiet with the quiet and your thoughts, right? That's been more than one woman's retreat when you go someplace and it's special because you have to be quiet. You can't say anything. You're just sitting with your thoughts. We weren't taught how to do that. We were taught to manage discomfort by replacing it with dopamine. And the options are endless and readily available. Noise is far easier than presence. We're afraid that people we had to cut. We're afraid that people that we had to cut will never reach out because they truly don't care. And that might be true, but it may also be that they are dealing with their own shame or guilt exposed by the cutting. Neither explanation changes your responsibility to yourself. We're afraid of gossip, afraid that those who never cared will rewrite the story to protect their ego and recruit others into it. And some of us know that because we did it, right? We're afraid to face the truth that we are not as important in other people's lives as we believed or hoped. We're afraid to grieve the time and energy spent trying to earn worth that should have been freely given. And perhaps most frightening of all, we're afraid of continuing forward alone. That's my big one. That still lives in me. Even as I write this Kickstarter, The Path to Unpunishable, it's in the middle of an expected mid-campaign slump. The prior cards did exactly what they meant to do. They ruffled feathers, and in response, some people removed their backing as a form of punishment. And I find that ironic, but I'll get to that later. I noticed that when it dropped, there was no fear or dread or sadness. Just a thought clearly formed. I looked at that because it dropped one day by $100, and then it dropped the next day by another $100. And the first thing that came to my mind was, this project is called The Path to Unpunishable. And then there was nothing. I mean, I laughed just like I did now, but that was it, right? I noticed it, I acknowledged it, and I kept it pushing. I sent the updates, I checked the status of my mechanical color pencils, which didn't show up until about 8 o'clock tonight. As I'm recording this, I'm maybe a half hour. They've been here a half hour, right? I sat down and I started writing the copy, right? This is the first time in a long time that I experienced the quiet as something to fill with joy and fill with work that I enjoy, rather than a test of whether I'm really okay. Now that testing phase was once necessary. I had to prove to myself that the healing could take root and last. But what I didn't do, and what we're not going to do, is test the quiet by looking for drama or anticipating harm. Right? I test it by staying inside of it. I listen for what emerges, what comes out, right? I watch to see if my mind trusts me enough to bring forward something unprocessed so it can finally be healed. And so far it has, I have to say. I found a rhythm in this project that feels right? Writing the copy here is the hardest part because I'm actually taking out of my brain and out of my emotions and putting it on the page. That's heavy. It's heavy and it's hard. But recording it like I'm doing now, it's like catharsis. I can actually get my emotions out. I can actually say what I feel, and I feel safe to, right? And then illustrating the card is healing. I have been enjoying myself so much with these art projects, and with every finished card, oh, my self-esteem just goes up, my strength goes up, my joy goes up, and I'm ready for the next one. The quiet is no longer a warning, it's a workshop, right? So how does that look through the lens? Well, empathy comforts the part of you that panics when things go silent. It recognizes that quiet once meant anger, abandonment, or punishment. Truth reminds you that not every quiet is loss. Not all the silences are lost. Sometimes it's protection, sometimes it's strategy. And some silences exist because nothing is trying to harm you. Sometimes a gazebo is just a gazebo, people. Kindness invites you to sit without rushing to fill the space. It allows your nervous system to settle without demanding productivity as proof of work. Anti-greed prevents you from crowding the quiet with people who do not deserve access to your inner life. It teaches discernment over scarcity. And while all that's happening, joy stretches slowly into the open space. It spreads its legs out. It holds the elbows up. It doesn't demand attention. It simply notices that there's room to breathe, and it takes up that space. So what does this card have to teach us? Well, how to stay. It teaches you that the absence of chaos does not mean something is missing. It means something harmful has left, right? The quiet will surface things you avoided. It'll bring it all up. Memories, grief, anger, tenderness. None of these are monsters by default, but they can and will become monsters if you ignore them. You don't need to immediately interpret the quiet. You just enjoy it. You don't need to explain it to anyone. You don't need to prove you were okay by performing recovery. This is not a show for them. This don't concern them. It's none of their business. It's between you, your body, and the Lord, right? Your only task is to remain present, right here, right now. And healing happens when the nervous system learns that stillness is safe. Some of y'all can't stand silence. You need to learn that nothing bad happens when you stop bracing for impact. Let that flow through you. Because on the path to unpunishable, the quiet is not emptiness, it's a threshold. Punishment culture thrives on noise, accusations, urgency, manufactured chaos. And when you refuse to engage, the system loses leverage. The quiet is where you reclaim authorship of your life and of your story, where you choose what enters your life and your story. When your attention stops being a currency that others can spend. Because being unpunishable is built in silence, one steady, solid breath at a time. And with that, I'd like to leave you with this image. Picture a room at dawn, right? As the lights coming in. And you're sitting out there. There's no music, there's no voices. Maybe a chirp here or a bark there. But just light touching the edges of everything. And you're not waiting, you're just there. You're present. May the quiet teach you that peace does not need witnesses. May you trust what rises when nothing interrupts it. May you learn that stillness is not the absence of life. The stillness is where life finally speaks to you. Amen. And at this point, I'd like to invite you back to the Kickstarter. And if you'd like to back it, there'll be a link in the description on YouTube and in the article on Substack. And I thank you for spending this time with me as I give this gift freely given. And I look forward to seeing you card number 11, the unsaid message. We talk about closure there. Talk to you soon.